Yes, people, how's it going? Welcome back to Lily White Lane, and you're all very welcome along to the White Hart Lounge, a show that I did three fantastic episodes of. Go check them out after this one. And look, I wanted to bring it back. I've been busy the last year. It's been hard to do live streams, but look, what a guest we've got to bring on for the fourth episode of this show. The man, the myth, the legend, Eugene. How are you, mate?
I'm fine. Good evening, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, where you are around the world, right? You're watching this, right? And how are you doing, Robbie?
Yeah, no, I'm all good, Eugene. I'm all good, thank you. Guys, Eugene's link to his channel is in the chat as well, so click on that. Go subscribe if you haven't already. If you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're doing with your life. But look, on today's show, we're going to be asking Eugene questions about himself, questions about Tottenham Hotspur, and that's the kind of vibe of this live stream. Sort of a chilled out, laid back Tottenham Hotspur live stream, bit of Spurs, bit of personal stuff. And if you're ready, Eugene, we'll crack on with the questions.
Sure, go ahead.
So look, simple question to start things off. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Like I was telling you in the back room earlier, I've just decided to take about a few months off from work, right? Taking a sabbatical. So I have a bit more time to do a bit more streams here and there nowadays, a bit for my own shows, and of course joining you now at this time.
Yeah, no, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. And look, second question I do want to start off with is, and this one interests me as I was writing it, and it's interesting to hear other Spurs fans and Spurs YouTubers' responses. How did you begin and how did you start supporting Tottenham Hotspur?
Okay, this story I think I've told it a lot of times when I first started doing YouTube, right? But okay, it started like this, right? When I was young, when I was about 7 years old, my dad went to read law in London, right? So he moved the family over. So I stayed in London for about in early parts of my life. What call from 7 to about 10 years old, 9, 10 years old at time, right? And of course, we were based in London. At first, we were quite near to the city side, but then after that, we moved out to Nelson Village. If I'm not sure, you guys know where that is. And to be surprised, right, it's still there, right? Nelson Village is still there. So, while of course, when you're there, you go school there, then you pick up I mean, as a boy during those days, right? Football used to be more or less the main sports that you get
Life,
involved
yeah.
with. Yeah, yeah, and of course, when after staying there, we came back. Weren't too interested in Spurs yet until one day, of course, you know, I'm not sure you know this. There's a game we used to play called Subuto. Have you heard of it
Sabutio,
before?
yes, I've got it
Yeah,
in my loft.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we used
Becky
to play
Flames.
that. Yeah, the little players, and you got that
Yeah.
mat. That's the field.
Sabutio
So
is great, man.
yeah, and my dad bought three teams. Right, one was Spurs, one was Arsenal, and one was Liverpool. Because I had two younger brothers, so he told us, you decide which team you want to pick. So someone had to pick Spurs, but at that time I think I just picked Spurs because just for the fun of it and not actually being interested in the club itself. But that was during the time, of course, at my age, if I count back, right, that was somewhere in these late 70s. Okay, so by the time when I
Yeah.
got back to Malaysia, it was more or less the early 80s, or just in the 1980s. That's when it started. We used to get football matches in what I call, it's not like now. You get football matches, all the matches, all the time. Okay,
On
and
everything, yeah.
yeah, and everything, and that was the time when we had Gascoigne, right, Hoddle, right, and of course, if I'm not mistaken, it piqued my interest. It was the year when we won the 81, 82 FA Cup. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the year 81, 82 FA Cup. That's when I really became a Spurs fan, and because those days the FA Cup internationally, right, that was the only match that we get to watch final live final, and those 2 years when Spurs went back to back, right, winning the FA Cup, I guess I got hooked on that, right, and
Yeah.
uh from there
So
it all
usually my
became.
Wi-Fi is going wild here. I don't know what's going on.
No, no, it's okay. Right. But from there, right, the suffering began. From there, the suffering began, right? The hopes of up and downs, right? And there goes Robbie. His Wi-Fi has gone off. We'll wait for him to come back. I'll take over the show for a while. I'll tell my story, right? So from there, it went on until, of course, the 80s and then the 90s. And then, of course, 2000. Of course, I went through the sugar times. And, of course, in the early stages when ENIC bought over, and, of course, the transition to the Premier League, right? But I guess that's where we are now, right? Nearly 40 years over of being a Spurs fan. 40 years I've been a Spurs fan. And of course, being an overseas Spurs fan, right? I guess I've been quite loyal to the club. Never changed my mind. Still supported the club because, you know, those days were the days when we played attractive football. We were always the underdog, right? And we never were actually going for the Premier League, but somehow or another we will collect 1 or 2 cups along the way, right? 1 or 2 cups along the way. But sadly to say, once we breached the millennia. So from 2000 onwards, as we know, 2001, well, that's when ENIC took over, and that's what you see now, right? Not much trophies in the cabinet. No, say not much. We only have got 1 Carabao Cup. So as you can see, that's where I am now, right? I'm a staunch Levy outer, right? ENIC outer, Levy outer, but of course, the main person to get out first is Levy, but hopefully maybe along the way we get ENIC out at the same time, right? And while I guess it's a Spursuasian takeover, right? Something has happened to Robbie's internet connection, and let's hope he comes back soon. Anyway, guys, I'm not sure how many guys in the chats, right? Big up to you guys in the chats, right? Put in some questions, right? Maybe I can answer them, right? And let's see how I say. Yep. I blame Robbie for leaving it. He's taken him down. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this one has put it out. But don't worry, Robbie will be back soon, right? Big up Rob Belcher. How are you doing? Let me see who's in the chat. Jess Foreman, right? Big up to him, right? Robbie is back. Rob Belcher is here, right? And let's see whether Robbie gets his connection.
Eugene, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Why is the internet so bad in the UK, right? It's just not you,
it's
right?
It's horrendous, pal.
Yeah.
It's absolutely horrendous. I'm so sorry, mate, and guys in the chat. I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, internet completely. I don't know what was going on. I was just on the live stream, and then it just completely cut out and froze. But
yeah, it's okay. You're back, just along the back. Yep. So more or less, I finished my how I got to be a Spurs fan. From the 80s into the 90s, and still here supporting Spurs, right? I guess that is what I did. Yeah.
But you've lasted a long time supporting this football club, which is, I'll admit, is hard, very hard. But look, I do want to move on to the next question. What's your favourite Tottenham Hotspur game you've watched? Obviously, you've watched a fair few. You told me there. What's your favourite you've ever watched?
To tell the truth, right? Watching Spurs games. Honestly, I've not watched one live because of my idol player. If you talk about the past, just answer Rob Belcher. If the past, I will say Gaza, Hoddle, right? Gaza, Hoddle, those were the players that and of course along the way you get players like Janola, Van der Vaart, right? Now the only name in of course Gareth Bale too, right? But Modric, right? Now it's of course Harry Kane. Well, of course I'm Asian. Son, I'll support Son all the way. Yeah. Son all the way. Sorry, my favorite game. I would go way back. Yeah, I think I had to go way back, right? The year when we had, I think it's the FA Cup game. It has to go back to the FA Cup, right? Because for me, is that those were more like childhood memories to me, right? When we won the FA Cup, when Ricky Villa scored that amazing goal, right? Yeah, so that would be more or less.
That one,
yeah. And I'm mistaken, that was in what year was that? FA Cup, is it 91 or no?
Not entirely sure.
Yeah, I think it's 91. Right, I have to go and check. Yeah, can't remember. So far back for me, right? But for the current one, I'm not sure. Current one nowadays, it brings back more. I more or less, I'll say the League Cup, right, that we won in 2008. Yeah, League Cup. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, I watched that cup while I was on a night out, right? In Malaysia, you got karaoke sessions and all that. We're watching it live
Oh,
then. So yeah,
yeah,
so
karaoke and that, yeah.
yeah, karaoke sessions. Yeah, but of course, I think I watched the first because I'm not mistaken. That time the League Cup, we won it on a replay, did we? Right, the 2008
I
League Cup.
believe
Yeah,
so, yeah.
yeah, we won it on a replay, right? So the first game I actually watched at home, but it turned out to be one draw or something like that. Then we went over to into the replay. Then that's the one that yeah, yeah. But it was good. It was good, right?
No,
Yeah,
I
that's
remember
one.
hearing from my dad in that League Cup final while I was 1 year old, and I remember
Yeah,
my dad telling me I was in a Spurs shirt, even though I didn't know how to say Tottenham Hotspur. I was in a Spurs shirt, and he was chucking me about the room. But look, no,
uh,
that's great to hear. And the
yeah,
8-1 FA Cup final, year ends in one. We always seem to win stuff when we do
yeah.
in
Not,
the first year
yeah.
of a new decade. Obviously,
Not, not,
91
not, not.
FA Cup.
Yeah, not anymore, right? Ever since Enoch took over, yeah, they screwed it all up. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Not
no.
my word. Scott's worth premium ministry this time. Alex Scott. Yeah, I don't think we'll get Alex
So he's
Scott.
that
Yeah.
doesn't he play for I think it's
Birmingham,
Bristol?
Bristol or Birmingham? Oh, Bristol. Yeah, Bristol City.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. Bristol
he
City.
looks
Yeah.
exciting, but we'll have to wait and see. But look,
Yeah.
question number 3: do you have a soft spot for any other teams apart from Tottenham Hotspur? A bit of a controversial one. I've asked a few guests this one. Do you have a soft spot for any other teams?
Honestly, I think it's Newcastle. I do have a
Yeah,
soft spot for Newcastle because it was that year that Kevin Keegan brought them all the way to the top, led for like something what Arsenal did, and then Manchester United caught up, right? So yeah, slight soft spot for Newcastle, but they piss me off most of the time. Whenever we lose to them, I still remember the game where they won 1-0, and Drobevka, or one of the goalkeepers, was the man of the match. We had like 30 shots on goal, and and he saved everything. Yeah, soft spot, Newcastle. Yeah, Newcastle.
no, look, I
That's why I'm.
quite like Newcastle as well. In all
Yeah,
honesty, I said
yeah,
Leeds is another one I don't mind, but I think they've
mm,
got great fans. Obviously, in a few years, they're going to turn into the new Man City with people hating on them
yeah,
with the money
yeah.
they've
We're
got. But
becoming it.
I think they deserve it. They've been through
Yeah,
so
yeah,
much under Mike
yeah,
Ashley, and yeah,
yeah.
I have no problem with Newcastle. I think they've got good fans. But look, moving on to the next question. We know you love your football and Tottenham Hotspur, which is hard to sometimes with the way we play. But are there any other sports that do interest you?
Oh, I got lots of other sports that interest me, but I've got a warm passion for Formula One, right? Yeah,
I love your
warm
football.
passion for Formula One. Yeah, because I used to do shows on Formula One with a good old friend of mine that has recently passed away, Stephen Fitley. I'm not sure you know
Sorry
about
to
Stephen. Yeah, yeah. So he used to do. But he's an Arsenal fan. He used to come onto my channel a lot, and he used to do Formula One. So we used to do a lot of Formula One watch-alongs nowadays. Nowadays I can't find someone to do a Formula One watch-along with me anymore. So
I'll
that's the sad.
happily do one with you, mate. I love my Formula
Yeah.
One.
No, you like your Formula One too. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I
But
like it. Yeah.
I preferred it when it was a bit older, when they didn't have all that technology, right? And then after that, they had all that technology, and then now they've removed all that technology. But the only thing I can't stand is the dominance of a certain team. Whenever they're up there,
I
nobody can
agree with
change
you.
them. Yeah.
You've got
But
it right now with Verstappen
Red,
and Red Bull,
yeah,
haven't
Red
you?
Bull. Yeah. But previously it was Mercedes and Petronas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, and part of it because Petronas, is a Malaysian company which sponsor Mercedes. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
Quick question here from Rob. What are your thoughts on this, Eugene?
Uh, okay. If H left, who do you think would captain us on the edge? I'll take Son.
I agree
Hands
with
down,
you. I
Son.
think Son's committed his future to Spurs. He's
Yeah,
come out and committed it.
yeah,
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 I
yeah.
completely
Loyalty is there, right? And of course, last season he didn't perform too well because he was carrying injury, and that I blame on the club, right? If he was carrying injury and
I
he was like only on 60%, he should have been playing, right? He should be rested. So that's how I see it, right? Yeah.
What's the point? FC says Alex Scott is only 19 and he's already controlling and dominating games against grown men in midfield. It's unheard of, and Levy's the idiot looking the other way. And look, I understand your question, but for me, I don't know about you, Eugene. I think I take
No,
the
I
guy at the
understand.
club.
Yeah. I'll take the
I
guy at the
don't
club,
even,
right? Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
But the
even
thing,
think we should be looking at him
mm,
before we
mm.
get a centre back. I think centre back should be our
No,
priority right now.
we're getting Ashley Phillips, Robbie. So another 18-year-old coming in for 3 million. So what the
Yeah,
heck, right? So, but I mean, for Alex Scott, right? He's only performing at the championship level. You know what I'm saying? When you move
yeah,
in the
no,
Premier League level, it's a totally different level, right?
it's a
Whether you
big
be able
step
to
up.
dominate, yeah, it's a big step up, right? But if he's given a chance, why not? But you know, Spurs will never get the talented young players, right? We always get
Yeah,
the cheap option
I agree.
players, right? And they never get to play, and then they most probably
Joe Rodon and people like that.
yeah, yeah. Joe Rodon. Don't go there.
But look, you said you're interested in many other sports. You mentioned F1. Are there any others?
Oh, weirdly, the cycling, but cycling is just on the Le Tour, which is going on now. You know, the Tour de France.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Tour de France
yeah,
is that's the only one that I look into. Yeah. Basically, that's it. But of course, I have to say badminton too, right? Because that's the only sports that Malaysia excels in. So
yeah. No, I don't mind badminton. It's not one
uh,
I necessarily watch. I prefer watching the football, the
yeah,
boxing, and stuff like that.
yeah,
But I like a game of badminton, and
mm,
cycling's never really been my cup of tea. I don't even know how to cycle. I'm pissing 16. But Formula One,
serious.
I've always quite
Yeah,
liked. I think it's great though, and you only get it occasionally with F1 when you get two cars that are literally on the same level. You had it with Rosberg and Hamilton a few years ago. Then you had Hamilton and Verstappen, and they turn out
yeah,
to be fantastic seasons. But look, comment here
yeah.
from someone in the chat. Jack
Yep.
Clark, Joe
No,
Rodon,
no.
Spence, ref say, why do we do this? This centre back will just go out on loan again. What is the point? And look, I understand where you're coming
Yeah,
from, but I think
yeah,
3 million, we're not losing much bringing this guy in. I think he seems good. As long as we do get another centre back. Eugene, what are your thoughts on Ashley Phillips joining Tottenham and the news coming out this morning about that?
Ashley Phillips coming to Tottenham. I don't think he will fit into the first team because he's 18, right? We don't need a centre back at that age at the moment. You're saying you'll bring him in for development. That's okay, fair, right? But we got so many examples like what I Hate My might say. Don't forget, Jack Clark, Joe Rodon, Spence, Troy Parrott. Who else do we have? Right? We
Troy
brought
Parrott's
players in.
another one.
Yeah, Troy Parrott is one of them too, right? Who else do we have on that? So in the day, what I see and I think is that we still do need that extra two center backs who are in the age of around 23 to about 26, 27 to give a bit stability. Or we might even need even an older center back, right? To calm to have half the intelligence to calm the call to be a leader in that back.
Yeah,
To be a leader in the back, right? Yeah.
no, I
Big up Wayne
completely
Bonner,
agree.
big up Wayne. Long time
Big
no
up Wayne.
see. Yeah, big up Wayne. Wayne
Yeah,
is always everywhere.
brilliant.
Wayne
Yeah,
is
no,
always
he's
everywhere. Yeah.
got,
Wayne is a long
look,
time supporter, right? Wayne has always been a supporter.
yeah, no,
I think,
one of the OGs.
yeah, he's
One of
one
the
of the
OGs. I was
OGs.
looking at
Yeah.
YouTube Studio where you can see your comments. He was commenting my videos 2 years ago when I started
Yeah.
in
We all
lockdown, and
started
he's
about
he's
2 years. No, yeah, we all started 2 years ago, Robbie. Remember? Right? We all
yeah,
started 2 years
yeah.
ago. Yeah.
No,
Mm,
it's good to see people like Wayne and people who have been there
yeah.
since the beginning as well. I love new viewers as
Yeah.
well. But look, no, it's a pleasure to have you watching. And look, we're going to move on to the next question. Favorite other Tottenham Hotspur YouTuber?
Okay, to tell the truth, I won't play favorites here, right? All the Spurs YouTubers around, they all have their own opinions. They all, have their own way of expressing themselves and all that, right? But nowadays, okay, just for the fun of it, boy Hotspur. Nah. Nah.
I'm off.
You're off. Nah. But I mean, sometimes he does say the truth, right? But but in a
Yeah,
way that
it's
sometimes
other
is a bit,
things.
yeah, it's another thing. But to tell the truth, I don't have an actual favorite YouTuber. It's whether you want to say the YouTuber, the content, or the YouTuber, the person, or the YouTuber, that you are familiar with, right? Or you do a lot of shows with, right? Because I'll do shows with any YouTuber. And I have YouTubers who are, to tell the truth, one of my more favorite YouTubers has actually passed away. Remember, I told you, Steven, right? But he's an Arsenal fan, right? He doesn't have to be a Spurs fan to be a favorite YouTuber, right? He's a YouTuber too. right? So I have a lot of YouTubers. I do a lot of shows with fans from what called other clubs, right? So at the moment, I'll say, nah, I wouldn't have a favorite YouTuber, right? So yeah,
That's
everyone's
fair enough. Yeah.
everyone to me, it's fair, right? Yeah,
That's
everyone's
fair
got
enough.
a
There's
yeah,
not many people personally that I have a problem with on this platform.
right,
Everyone in the Spurs community, there's a few people in there who I personally won't interact with for different reasons. But look, I think the Spurs community is fantastic. I think a lot of the people in it are fantastic. I've made mates like you and people like Stel and
yeah,
Iggy who I never would have known apart from the Tottenham Hotspur YouTube community. But like you say about other fans as well, it was only the other week I was talking to Liam from over at the Bayern View, and he runs his Bayern Munich channel. Absolutely
mm,
sound guy. Invited me on his channel, did a video for mine. But look, I like to collaborate with other channels as well of other fan bases. But yeah, I think the Spurs YouTube community, and I've spoken about it a lot. I think especially ones who started, the likes of me, the likes of you, the likes of even Dave from the Irish Hotspur, Stel, Iggy, the people who were there
yeah.
in lockdown.
We are
I
on
think it's
TV,
such a
right? So yeah, all of this YouTube thing started more or less two over years ago when everyone was in lockdown and COVID, and when the
yeah.
ESL came along, right? Everyone went crazy, right? So, and I started my channel, right, because I found out there's no actual Malaysian Spurs YouTuber. So I'm the more or less considered the first Malaysian Spurs YouTuber,
That's
right?
fantastic.
Being Malaysian, right? But now I have another one, but he's not Malaysian, but he's streaming out from Malaysia. We all know who he is. He was supposed to be on
Yeah,
this channel today.
yeah, I know.
Yeah. But he's sorry, but he wasn't free. He has to work. So yeah, that's why I stepped
Yeah,
in and to be a super sub.
it's a pleasure to have you on as well. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
look,
yeah.
we are going to move on to the next question on here. Hobbies away from Spurs football.
Oh, at the moment, hobbies for me, because of my work, right? I work 6 days a week, more or less, right? Sometimes previously, sometimes 7 days a week, 10 days a week, before I get my break, because I work in the F&B industry, so my timing's a
Right.
bit off. It was very tiring. So I guess my hobby will be watching series, watching the
Nah.
telly. Right? Oh, my hobbies, right, will be watching YouTube Spurs YouTube channels, football YouTube
Spurs.
channels. I guess that'd be a hobby,
Do
right?
you have
But
a favorite? Do you have a favorite film or series?
nah. At the moment now, I'm just to tell the truth, I'm watching. I went through the Marvel series, all the more of the Marvel series. Now I'm watching Full Monty, the series.
I haven't
Yeah,
personally seen that. I love all the Marvel ones though.
yeah,
I really
yeah.
do.
I went through all
But
the
yeah,
Marvel series. So oh, and then the newest one now is called Secret Invasion. So yeah, I'm
yeah.
catching up on that too. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fair play. And
Mhm.
what about a favorite film? Do you have a favorite film?
Uh, mm, mm, Favorite film. I don't know if you're talking about trilogies or whatever is it, all those in
Anything?
sequence. I don't mind Star Wars, right? Because of my age, because Star Wars came out when I was a very young kid at the time in the 80s, 90s, right? In those period of time, and it's being brought forward now, even though nowadays it's a bit shitty, right? It gets a
Yeah,
bit
it's crap.
yeah, it's a bit crap now. So, but I mean, being a fan of Star Wars is one thing, right? Other films at the moment, I watched Indiana Jones about a week.
Indiana Jones, yeah.
I watched Indiana Jones on when did I watch Indiana Jones? Was it on Sunday or Saturday? Sunday or
What did
Saturday?
you watch the new one?
Yeah. The Dial
What
of
did you think?
Destiny, right? Yeah. I know. I don't mind Indiana Jones because I grew up on Indiana Jones, right? But it was a bit
Yeah.
weird watching an 85-year-old man doing stunts, and
Exactly, yeah. It's
yeah, it's a
different.
bit
But look,
weird. Yeah,
like a lot
yeah,
of trilogies, like a
yeah,
lot of trilogies, in my opinion,
yeah,
the original ones are the best. I mean, I've grown up with
yeah,
this whole new
yeah,
Star Wars trilogy with all of
yeah,
these like Last Jedi's and all that bollocks. I much prefer A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi,
yeah,
Indiana Jones. I don't think you can beat the first few. I don't think you can beat Temple of
yeah,
Doom or the first
yeah,
few. Yeah, but look,
yeah.
I mean, look, I like Indiana Jones as well. I think very good. Like you say, though, seeing a man in his 80s trying to do stunts as well. It's not something
Yeah.
not something you see every day, but similar interest.
I don't think you will ever see such a thing in real life.
No, exactly. So why not? But look, we are going to move on to the next question here. What is your biggest fear?
Oh, my biggest fear. I don't know. Uh, becoming a Levy inner.
Oh,
I
nightmare.
don't know.
Absolute nightmare.
Nightmare,
Can wake
nightmare,
you up
right?
in cold
Yeah.
sweats.
All of a sudden, Levy wakes up and he starts doing things properly, right? Treating the fans right, bringing the prices down, right? Winning us trophies, right? Challenging for the Champions League, supporting a manager for 3 years in a row and achieving something, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my biggest fear. Yeah, at the
Honestly, I
moment.
mean,
But
it's
honestly,
interesting when
right?
you.
Yeah, but honestly, my biggest fear, I think, in real life, right? Really, I think I got fear of heights.
I don't
Maybe.
like heights either.
Mm,
I did the Tottenham Skywalk a few years ago,
yeah.
mate. I was
So
shitting
yeah,
everything I went
yeah.
on.
So you will never see me on the skywalk, right? So yeah.
I did it
That,
though. I did it once because I went with
yeah,
my brother-in-law, and my dad, and it was enjoyable. But
yeah,
I mean, it was that bit, when you're looking out and you go round the
yeah,
well,
yeah. The
look
curve.
out on the stage, and it's like that's awesome. But it's when you turn your back and you've got nothing behind you, then it's like, but like,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't like heights. One of my biggest fears is slugs, though. So weird one. I think
Mm.
they
I'm
should.
not too worried about insects and all that, right? I don't mind flying. I'm not afraid of flying, but some other maybe put me on
I don't
height.
mind flying. No, I don't mind
Yeah,
flying. A lot of people get really scared of it. It's not something that really scares me. I'm not a
mm,
huge fan of it, but look,
I
it's
don't mind
interesting to
flying.
hear
I
other
like
people's
flying.
responses. It's
Yeah,
interesting
yeah,
to hear other people's
yeah, yeah,
responses. But
yeah.
look,
Yeah, Wayne Bonner hates heights too. Yeah, he hates them too. Never go and do the skywalk or anything.
absolutely hate never going on
Yeah,
that
big
skywalk.
one, big
I
one,
don't
yeah,
blame you. I don't
yeah,
blame you. It's not for everyone. I mean, I didn't think it was for me. It was a. Don't get me wrong. It's a great. The view you get from up there is
yeah.
phenomenal. But I mean, when you turn your back and just like look down, it's like
Oh.
you're attached to something, but you feel like, oh,
Why are you
that's
there, right? Why are you there, right?
yeah, exactly why, just why. But
Yeah.
look,
I think my
unfortunately,
fear of heights is I think my fear of heights is that if I can get up there, how am I gonna come back down?
exactly. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
blame you.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
blame you. Look,
Nice.
next question, right? You're having a dream dinner. You're allowed to invite 3 guests. Who are you inviting from history, alive or dead?
Does it have to be from Spurs?
No, it could be from anywhere. It could be from anywhere. I
Oh,
mean, you can invite Daniel Levy, but then I don't really want any murders or fights taking place at
oh
this
no.
point. You know what I mean?
It won't be Levy, right? Of course it won't be Levy, right? I mean, if you want a fun night out, you invite a few, I don't know. I mean, live or dead, right? If you want someone interesting, you will get someone intellectual, right? Live or dead, right? At the moment now, live or dead, 3-person dinner. Uh, okay. Let me think about that. Live or dead.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one because okay, to be fair, I'll pick one from football. Okay, then I'll pick
Okay,
one from maybe politics, then maybe one from the entertainment industry. Uh,
Mabsy.
yeah. Wayne Bonatic Mapsy, right? Football. Honestly, I wouldn't mind having dinner with Gaza, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, football would be Gaza because I mean he's still alive, right? I wouldn't mind having dinner with him,
the
right?
stories he'd be able to tell as well.
Yeah, the story, and I'm not going to ask him about the football stories, right? I'm going to ask him his parting stories.
the wheelchair and all
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah, the parting stories, right? For one on the political side, JFK, right?
yeah.
Yeah, JFK to really see whether he was what he really was, right? Yeah, JFK. And one on the entertainment side, an actor from the entertainment side. Mm, to tell the truth, guys, most probably I will be able to have dinner with this person, but I'll take Michelle Yeoh. Yeah,
Fair
the
play.
Malaysian actress. Yeah, yeah, Michelle Yeoh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jean
Yeah,
Todt,
no,
Sophia.
that's
Yeah, yeah, Michelle Yeoh. Yeah, I don't mind.
no.
But the truth, I actually had dinner with Michelle Yeoh before.
Wayne Bonner says he's invite Abraham Lincoln as well. It's an
Yeah,
interesting one.
yeah. But that
I
goes
mean, if I
way.
were to do one, I'd say historical historical
Yeah,
figures do they do interest me, but it's one that you'd have to think about. But I'd go with Ricky Gervais. I know
mm,
he's like Marmite, he splits people. I find him funny. I like him. I'd go with Harry Kane, and the other one, I don't know. I really don't know. Hulk
mhm.
Hogan. Oh no! Actually,
Yeah,
he's racist. I wouldn't invite him. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Stone Cold Steve
yeah,
Austin. Because I like
yeah,
the
yeah,
wrestling.
yeah, yeah.
Want to
Stone
move on
Cold
to the
Steve
next
Austin.
question? Yeah, be great. Stone Cold Steve Austin stuttering Ricky Gervais at the dinner party. Don't get much better.
Imagine Gaza, JFK, and who was the actor I was talking about? Michelle Yeoh, all three of them. At least I got one female in there, so too much testosterone there, so at least it evens it out.
I might have to bring in Margot Robbie.
Yeah,
Let,
yeah.
let
Margot.
me,
But she
the
has to
next
play the.
question,
She has to be. What's that character she plays?
Barbie.
Uh, huh? No,
Barbie,
no,
I
no,
think it is.
no, not Barbie. The other one. The Joker's girlfriend.
Oh,
Uh,
Harley Quinn.
the Harley Quinn. Yeah, she must come as Harley Quinn. That would be fun.
I didn't invite her as the one from Wolf of Wall Street, but look, want to
Yeah.
move on to
Okay.
the next question. Do you have any regrets either on YouTube or in life?
On YouTube, nah, I don't do much regrets on YouTube. In life, of course, you have regrets, right? I'm 55 years old. You get what I'm saying? So in life, you must have regrets, and then you learn from your regrets, and you grow from your regrets. But yeah, there will be regrets, right? But of course, certain regrets you can't say live on YouTube, right? You know, it's too personal, right?
Yeah,
Regrets will be there, right? And hopefully, whatever decisions that you made, mistakes you have made in life, right? Hopefully, it makes you a better person, right? From the regrets, right? So, for me, it
yeah.
was musician, yeah, Rob Belcher, Peter Graybill, yeah, that's a good one. Jimmy Greaves,
David Attenborough
David
would be an
Attenborough,
interesting one. How would he
yeah,
react to like you're cooking
David
up some sort of
Attenborough,
steak?
Rob.
This steak is the best in the world. Just look at them analysing the steak.
Yeah, but David Attenborough reminds me of National Geographic. That's all. Is it?
Yeah, yeah. You just as soon as you think about Attenborough, I'm
It'll be
picturing
some
too much.
a picture
I'm,
of him in Africa. That's all I see.
yeah,
He's next to
I'm
the
just
what called
picturing him
building.
eating some
Yeah,
burnt potatoes. Going, these potatoes are so burnt, they're on the
yeah.
verge of extinction. Attenborough.
Oh, and
Musician's
he's
a good one as well. I might invite Freddie Mercury, bring him back to life.
musicians. There are lots of musicians, right? To tell the truth, I don't
Big up
mind
Jack
Bob Marley. Yeah, Bob Marley. Wake up, JB. Big up,
Bob
JB.
Marley, yeah.
Right. Yeah, Bob Marley would be a good one, right? Kurt Cobain would be a good one, right?
Kurt Cobain, yeah.
Yeah,
So
right.
a lot of lead
Uh,
singers,
yeah,
and this
yeah.
this leads me on to another question. I wasn't going to ask this one. I was actually doing it with my mates. I did it with my family. If you were to create a dream band, you're only allowed one person from each band, so you can't say the whole of Queen. But if you were to create a dream band with a drummer, a bassist, a guitarist, and a lead singer, one person from any band or any singer, who would you go with?
Okay, guitarist will be Santana. Woo, yeah. Lead singer, that'll be interesting. Ah, lead singer. Uh, my God.
There's so many to choose from as well.
Yeah, that's why lead singer. There's so many to choose from. Is which genre you want? You see, because I'm not gonna go into the modern one. Mine will be in the either country rock, R&B, hip
Yeah,
hop, right? Okay, lead singer will be Prince. Yeah, Prince.
yeah, of course.
Guitar Santana. Drummer will be the guy in ACDC.
I don't know
Uh,
his name.
yeah. The drummer. There's one guy with one hand. Yeah. I can't remember his name. Uh, bassist. Bassist.
It's a
Mm,
hard one to choose, bassist.
yeah, bass is a hard one to choose. Eric Clapton on the bass.
There's a few. I mean, my
George
personal one,
Harrison.
I'd go with Elvis as lead
Oh,
singer. I'd go
mhm,
with Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers as bassist. Neil
mm,
Peart from Rush as the drummer, and guitarist. Guitarist is a tough one. I'm thinking either Slash from Guns N' Roses or Hendrix.
mm,
I
yeah.
don't know which one. You're thinking of that all week.
I'm
But look,
more. Yeah, Hendrix is okay, but but his career was a bit short. He
he's
didn't go
not for
too far.
everyone.
Yeah, no. But I still
Wayne
prefer
Bonnison
Sinatra.
is Freddie Mercury, cracking singer. Hetfield as well from um,
Mhm,
and Paul Bosnaff. It's a quality band. I have to
mm,
think about the bass player. Bass player is a tough one. Bass player is a
yeah,
tough one. Look,
Steve
we've talked about
Adler.
music. We've
Mhm.
talked about films. We've talked about series. We've obviously talked about Tottenham Hotspur. I want to ask you, what's next for you on YouTube?
I don't know. For me on YouTube, I guess I'm taking my sabbatical, so I have a lot of time to do shows on my own shows and do shows on people's shows. I'm coming up with a series of shows. I'm starting, of course, pre-season shows. That's why I'm going to start off, and the transfer window shows in the beginning now. Then, of course, I have my normal preview review shows of the matches, right? And then I'm coming out with something called uh, the North London Rival Show, and then I'll have one London rival shows, and maybe I'll do, instead of the big six show, I'll do a big eight show now, right? So
Big
I
show.
expand big eight, because I expanded it down to Spurs. It was so sad.
You have to fit Tottenham in now.
Yeah, just
You
to
can't
fit
just
on
say
it,
Big
gotta say
Six. You
big
won't
eight.
even be in there.
Yeah, you say big six, we even in there, right? So yeah, so I'm gonna say big eight. And I have to include Aston Villa fans and Brighton fans to be in the big eight
That
show.
sounds good,
Let's see how
man.
it goes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But of course, try to build the channel, right? In this 3 to 6 months, maybe I'll reach up to 1,000 subscribers. I've been trying to reach that for some time now. So yeah, still stuck about 400 plus subscribers. So yeah, but I haven't been doing much shows lately. So you have to do more shows, yeah, to get more, right? Yeah,
Best
if
of
you
luck
haven't,
with
yeah,
that, guys. If you haven't already, link to Eugene channel below. Check it out. Absolutely
yeah,
fantastic content on there.
yeah, yeah.
And I want
But
to ask you
before,
one
yeah,
more
yeah,
question.
but before that, right? I've got to finish off my part two of my Levy Out show. Yeah. I got one more part because I did part one. I haven't finished off part two yet. Once I finish off part two, then I can start with the new season.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
look, I do want to move on to the next question. What are your predictions for Tottenham Hotspur next season or this season coming up? Where do you think we'll finish?
Mm,
Top scorer? Do you think Kane will stay? All of that.
to tell the truth, my expectations
Big
for
up,
this
Richard.
season, big up Perchy, big up, big up. My expectation for this season, to tell the truth, I ain't gonna put it that high, right? Because I'm trying to be realistic here, right? We're looking at a squad of players which at the moment don't have the quality to actually bring us where we want to be.
Sure.
There's an age factor there. There's a problem where our center backs aren't good enough, and we are not replacing them as quick as we can, right? To give an understanding for the center backs to work. And we've brought in a new manager which has got no track record in the Premier League, right? All right, untested, right? So I won't be putting my hopes too high, right? As we've seen the first preseason game, we are able to play attractive football, but I
Yeah.
also have to take into context that we played against we played against West Ham, right? West Ham is a moist ball. Moist ball is sit back, absorb, and counter
Voice ball
attack.
is disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah, so moist ball is like whatever ball that we used to play last time. So it's disgusting. So it still doesn't show the true reflection of what our squad is, our team is going to be. We do not know the amount of players are going to be still there, whether the amount of players are going to be changed around, sold, retained. So everything is up in there for me. So my expectations is attractive football along the way. If we're lucky, have a cup run. If we're very lucky, pick up a domestic cup. I ain't even going to look at top four at the moment because top four has always been that smoke and mirrors dreams that the owners put on us, but it's just for his benefit because top four brings in Champions League, gets
Means
money.
nothing.
Oh, and if I'm not mistaken, next season is going to be top five. We're adding one more slot for the Premier League, right? So So I'm not even going to go there, right? Because even we reach that level, we never push on and improve. It's already been proven, right? Last season when we reached top
Yeah.
four, what kind of players did we get in, right? We didn't improve in the squad. We didn't bring in the centre backs that were needed. And of course, Conte said he was happy with the defense that he had. Of course, he had to say that, right? He ain't gonna come in and say that, oh, our defense are shit and get rid of all of them. Maybe he did tell Levy that, but not in you, right?
No.
Why do you think he left, right? Why do you think he pushed for? Why did he think he committed committed suicide, career suicide, right? So I guess that it is what it is. But for Ange is that I will support Ange. I will give him time, and hopefully the fan base will give him time, right? And Levy will give him time, right? Because don't forget, Europe and top four is the club's ambition, right?
No.
It's the club's ambition. So that's how I see it.
No, look, I think you're completely spot on. We saw last season, and it was gutting because we headed into last season with so much excitement because we finished in the Champions League above Arsenal, and we thought we were going to be the side to push on. 1 year later, right, they've just unluckily missed out on the Premier League and have just signed Declan Rice, a world-class midfielder for 105 million. And Maddison, I've got nothing against Maddison, but it's not the same level signing. It's just not. Even the other players we're signing. But look, I think this season, I know it's a phrase we laughed at for so long with Arsenal when they were using it, but I think we've got to trust the process. I do think we've got to get behind Big Ange. Yesterday, we even saw our defence is horrendous, but if we do get behind this manager, we've seen that we can play some good football. We had some, in my opinion, more shots on, not in my opinion, factually, more shots yesterday than probably like the last 3 months, 31. So, look, I'm hoping as well. I'm not fussed about European football necessarily. I'm more fussed about trophies. But if we can achieve anything next season, it'd be a bonus. I'd just like to see us play some good football and at least start looking like we're going in the right direction. But look, you've got Levy out, you've got Enoch out behind you. That sentiment and the statement that I agree with on this channel, and I personally, back up and agree with. What's next for the Levy out and Enoch out movement?
To tell the truth, right? I've never stopped. I've always persisted on it. So for the movement, to tell the truth, it's always been fragmented, right? Divided, right? We can't come to a same consensus of what to do. That's the sad part, right? We're even divided in our own movement. So hopefully we can unite in the movement, right? And let's see what happens along the way. Because at the moment now, as we can see it, right? We've been calling for the defenders for the last 2 seasons, right? And we're still stuck with them. So I guess maybe all hell will break loose by the end of August, and we still are stuck with Dyer, Tanganga, Sanchez, and Davis, right? So let's see how that goes. And maybe I'm not expecting all of them to get kicked out or sold or loaned out. It'd be nice to see at least 2 or 3 of them be moved out, bringing 2 or 3 new center backs, refreshing the back line, right? Give Ange a chance to do something, right? Because if the club doesn't do that for Ange, right? I'm going to say this here, right? Conte didn't walk out last season. What if Ange walks out this season, right? Yeah. Because he can't take it anymore. Because he can't take the bullshit.
And then what manager's going to join us if yet another manager has enough?
No, don't worry. We have Nagelsmann in the shadows waiting.
Oh, how can we forget?
How can we forget Nagelsmann? We've been chasing him for 3 years, right? He's in the shadows waiting, right? So I don't know, right? So as part from the Hurricane saga, drama, debacle, whatever you want to call it, if Bayern Munich's offer 80 million pounds, Levy, please sell him, right? But I've heard rumors that Levy wants 100 minimum plus whatever needs to be added on and blah, 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 right? My biggest fear, I've been always saying, right, since Poch has moved to Chelsea, if Levy doesn't sell him, Kane writes out his contract. Next season, he'll choose wherever he wants to go. We won't have a say on it. And I see Chelsea, right? And if Chelsea performs to the standard that we are all seeing, giving them that we see that they're going to do, right? If they are going to challenge or we're in the top 4, give him Europe, I see Kane going there. But my question is that will Kane stay at Spurs without Europe, right? That's why I think
Yeah.
Bayern Munich is holding that card there, right? We've got Champions League. If you come to us, you might have a chance to win the Champions League, right? So,
Yeah, they've got that to offer him. What have we got to offer him? Conference League potentially next season.
No. We can offer him the beer that comes out from the bottom of the cup.
Oh, how can you
Oh,
forget?
yeah.
The beer from the bottom.
Yeah.
The go-karting as well.
Yes, the go-karting. And then you get free tickets to Beyonce,
He's got
ACDC.
too much persuading him. But look, I
Yeah,
do
so
want to
much
ask you
for
one final question, Eugene, before we do wrap this up. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Once again, I want to reiterate, guys, whether you're watching it live, whether you're watching it after, please go and check out Eugene's channel, link in the top of the chat. And look, my final question, what are your future ambitions in life?
At the moment now, like guys, I told you guys, I'm on a sabbatical, so I'm taking 3 to 6 months off to reevaluate my life to see what I want to do. Right. My ambition is life to become a multi-billionaire and buy out Levy.
What a plan! What a plan! I'd rather have you than Levy. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. But look, Eugene, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Guys, thank you for watching this live. If you're not watching this live and you're watching it later tonight or any day, thank you for watching. This has been the 4th episode of White Hart Lounge. We had the first episode with Stell. Thoroughly enjoyed that. The second one with the man who shall not be named anymore on the Tottenham Hotspur YouTube community. His name begins with B and ends with Spurs, so we won't mention him. The 3rd episode with Brian Daigle and the 4th with the legendary Eugene. Guys, comment down below who you want on next. Thank you for watching, Eugene. Tell people where they can find you.
Thanks for having me on, Robbie. Right, it's good to be on doing shows again because I've been taking some time off. I haven't been on a show. Regularly being on shows for about 3 weeks or so, 4 weeks, nearly a month. Right. I guess I'll be on quite soon. Trying to get the one guest that's supposed to join me. Rez, where are you? You're supposed to do the Levy Out show with me, right? Rez, right? Once I get that done, then all my thumbnails are done for the season. Then I'll be putting out a lot of content. Of course, you can get me on SpursuasianTV. But thanks for having me on, Robbie. Right? It's good to be on your channel. I think I've been on your channel once before, long time ago.
On a live stream, I think a year ago, because I haven't live streamed for over a year. Honestly, I haven't done it for so long.
In the beginning, when you started, when you were very much younger at the time, 2 years ago.
People laugh at my voice. I was on when Tottenham Way did their 10K stream before their channel got shut down and that shit happened. They invited me on and they said, "Robbie, your voice, man," because I look back on my videos years ago. It's like, yes, lads and ladies. It's just so high pitched and squeaky.
You're becoming a man now, right, Robbie?
Yeah, slowly but surely. But look, I love doing this YouTube stuff. I love you guys tuning in. I love the people that come on like Eugene, all the legends in this Tottenham Hotspur community. Honestly, I think it's the best community. And I say that there are a few arseholes, but no one feels like they're competing against each other in the sort of in-group we have, if you know what I mean. You see it with Man United channels and Arsenal channels. They're all trying to compete with each other for views and subscribers. Us Spurs fans will promote each other's channels if we're trying to reach a milestone in our community pages. We'll all support each other, talk to each other, and it's not just put on for the camera. So, look, I love doing this, but look, usually it's been a pleasure having you on. We are going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
And as always, Levy out.
And as always, Levy out. Come on, you Spurs. In Big Andrew we trust. But most importantly,